it's time. Welcome back to another loadout race here for you. Today, we've got Blind Acrid. Everyone's favorite. I feel like we've already gotten past something else equally as bad. Oh god, it's Gruggy is trying to figure out ways to get the PC not to crash. Have it now in like N64 version. I feel like I'm watching someone play a game off the PS1. Oh boy. Look at that. But we got 4 racers here. Sorry, getting distracted here. Up in the top left, we've got Cool Mallard here in the Forest Green Acrid. They are playing with Blight today. I think I already said that, but listening to the Edge of Green Ith, the Green Acrid skin, in a very green mood here. Just kind of chilling around spawn, trying to see if he can get his hands on something good. There's a healing drone that might be nice. There's a chance shrine, who knows, but then we got Gruggy with the PS1 graphics up in the top right. A racer who, standing in the 23rd position, is one spot away from securing, or not securing, but getting back into the wildcard picture here in week 5 of the hosting league. Again, knows a lot about the game and is actually pretty good. Just has to constantly deal with PC issues. So hopefully none of that pops up today, but should be good as of now. Down on the bottom left, we've got Jodovich in the 22nd seed, the seed that is just enough, right, to be in the wildcard picture here. 19 through 22 get into the wildcard round. Only 2 of those will advance to the tournament. But Jodo at least trying to maybe see if he can find his way out of there. Picks up a watch, gets some Wungus, very good items for Blind Acrid. You want base damage, you just want any damage in general. And then the watch, of course, or the Wungus giving you healing. If you don't got speed, you can at least heal a little bit. So you're going to take a lot of hits. That's for sure. Wandering Vagrant is the boss. Jodo, the first one on the TP boss with the watch and Wungus. And speaking of Vagrants, here we got Kei in the bottom right, also having activated TP, has double pennies. Is just playing off of that. The idea being get some money during TP. Maybe find some other items down the line. That could be cool. That could be good. Kei actually struggles a decent amount with Wandering Vagrants here. Has died a lot to them in prior races. We'll see what happens here today against this Vagrant. Kind of want to play a little bit aggressive, but at the same time, you want to either just burst it down immediately. Blind Acrid can usually pull that off. But otherwise, you just wait for the gloop to come out. And there we go. Kei's playing it safe this time. Not going to try and whack it down to 0 HP. There we go. Did not level up. Was being smart about the XP on the Vagrant, among other things. It's going to be okay. And gets the item, which is is that a Harvester? No, it's a Bandolier. So, you know, get a couple more Epidemics in there, here and there. Get some more shifts, some more Frenzied Leaps. These racers are using Frenzied over Caustic, which means not only less Blight applications if they're really trying to go for something like that, but it's going to be a little bit more hard to move around. Put it that way. But already getting through the Vagrant without dying, it's going to be a good day for Kei, I think. That's a good sign. That's a good start. All right, we see Jodo, the first one to activate, really kind of struggling with the Vagrant. And if Vagrants are supposed to be Kei's weakness, I mean, it's not looking good. Even with the Wungus in hand, at 87 curse. There's the level up. Still have about a third of the health to go in this Vagrant, and you're just not charging TP standing outside here. Mallard just started the TP event. Gruggy finished off the Vagrant, the second one to do so. Pretty good, keeping up a decent pace. Oh, that's nice with the Blight, I just realized. You can use the neurotoxin and just spit at the orbs that the Vagrant shoots, and in doing so, it gets finished off. That's kind of cool. You don't have to like double spit or anything like that. If your Mallard there has kind of been doing that a little bit. The one tiny advantage that Blight will have throughout this run over Poison. Kei died? What? Kei was done with the TP. What happened? Okay. I don't even know what to say. No, I'm not going to say congratulations. That would be rude of me. Loses an elixir, takes a death. Oh my god. That's not a way you want to start, and with that, I mean, sorry for people who gambled on Kei, but down a bottle, that's -1 white item. Yeah, it was definitely a fall damage death, but from where? Is it from where Johto's right now? Can't quite tell. Invisible ceiling are what? Says Kei. So apparently it slammed up on top of something and just with that 10-second cooldown, Unfrenzied Leap takes a death. At least he didn't have to watch. That is fair. Could have been worse. I'd rather lose the elixir over the watch. But, I mean, it's better to have both. And even at that, it's like, being able to keep those white items, those are white items that will be lost forever. There's no getting that one back. So it's kind of more than just a +5, right? It's +5 -1 white. There's a armor piercing printer or a sticky bomb or whatever it might be down the line. As Johto and Kei are trying to get this pot on this button over here, Gruggy found that the God spot is there. Might be able to work with that a little bit. The Giga button plate. Over in the center of the stage and the other half of the map. Yeah, Kei does have the button down. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to Johto there, but it's walking away from the button. Maybe got it as well, or maybe got overwhelmed by the enemies. Decided to just come back later. There's the TP. Now you can either play it slow or play it fast. What we've seen some of the racers do as of late, they used to play it slow. But now they feel like, well, as long as you play it fast and just get as many items as possible, kind of do a quick loot. Can usually just mow Mithrix down before he gets to the 30-40 minute mark where his health really starts to build up and a lot of ads start popping up in phase 3. So we see Kei doing that here. Could pay off, maybe. Even with that death, right, has that 5-minute disadvantage throughout this whole run. We did just get done watching a run where there was 100 and something deaths. 100 plus deaths in one of the racers, so who knows how much a death will actually mean at the end. How much time will matter and what, but as of now, you kind of got to go fast if you're Kei. And keep up the pace that you've been taking. Having died to a invisible ceiling. But while that's happening, Gruggy found 2 armor-piercing rounds. Gruggy found a fire band. Gruggy has a crowbar. Doesn't have any pennies, but oh man, those damage items are going to be real nice. Hopefully Kei can find some of them. Right at $450 with the double pennies, we'll probably want to decently loot this map. Oh, ukulele is the boss item. That's not bad. Everyone always kind of jokes about getting proc chains on Acrid. It's not bad to have them if you're using Blight. It's kind of what you're stuck with. Your poison isn't going to do much, or Blight anyway. It's kind of a tiny little bit that's kind of passive, not really a big part of the build like you can use with poison, as that's kind of a crutch at times. So things like ukuleles and sticky bombs and just getting those M1 swipes and those neurotoxins in. I believe every M1, every vicious wound as they call it, does 200%. The third one does 400%. Neurotoxin does 240. It's not a lot, so you gotta try and work with that. Clay Doomstrider being taken out swiftly by Jodovic. He's gonna have to run away now, though. Oh god, a lot of orbs, loses the watch, getting harassed. Never good to get caught in that because of all the slowdown that happens when you get hit by those oil orbs. And a kind of a 1-2 combo. It's hurt pretty bad. Surprisingly enough, the Doomstrider did not go for suck. Etc. did suck and just gave up. No, yeah, there it goes. Does not have any more shifts. Has to look out for the Mutilguard Sunders. As the Doomstrider goes up all the way back to half health. Don't go into there. Oh, jeez. At least out of the suck already. Once you leave the suck, you can go back in and be fine. So I guess that was a good call from Jodo. In hindsight, both piercing grounds found on Kei. Kei did not die during the stage 2 TP. Didn't lose the watch during the stage 2 TP, so that's good. Jodo might be in trouble as the second suck kicks in. Still needs a lot of the TP event to go through. Only at 20% done now. Mallard also getting harassed. There's an overloading Wisp, among other things. 0% done on the TP. Just wondering, do I just go back and try and start charging? Do I deal with these overloading lesser Wisps? What do I do? Who knows, but eventually decides to just go for a slam and deal some damage to this Doomstrider. He's using the M1 tech sprinting while just holding down mouse 1. Holding down the primary attack while sprinting, able to cycle through the animations and speed up the attack speed. Back rate a little bit. Oh, you know what? Mallard never had the watch. I'm gonna see what Mallard has that they don't. I see a mocha that the others are missing, so maybe that was it. Gruggy got the band, or the pot down on the button. Kei might get frozen, is frozen, but the other elder dies. Thanks, Blight. Can't believe I'm saying that. Maybe that was just the fire band. We'll just say it was the fire band and not Blight that finished him off. And Kei has bands. 3 of them, to be exact, with the 2 armor-piercing rounds. Damage is looking really nice for Stage 2 Blight Accurate. Here's a large chest. It is Deathmark. Same Deathmark that I believe Gruggy found. Yeah. Bleed and Deathmark. We'll see if that slug gets found as well. I think this is the slug. No, that's not the slug. That's the brooch that Kei found. And Kei's out. So I feel like Gruggy's on a very similar path to Kei right now. Very similar items. Very similar routing. Is missing a death, which is nice, but is also about 2 minutes behind. So we'll need to try and maintain the pace that he's keeping up so far. It should be good, but we'll see what happens. There we go. The Frenzy Leap, one benefit of it, you don't need ATGs or anything to come out of it. You don't need to get your third swipe of your M1. All you gotta do is just press shift, land on an enemy, and you proc your bands. And it's a little bit more than your M1 proc as well. Oh, Gruggy is struggling. Oh, gets frozen. Oh, but the other one dies as well. Okay, similar situation. Is going to be able to leave with 3 bands total as well. Oh, Grove Tender is the boss? Oh, you gotta be careful if you're Kei. Could end poorly if the chains come out. Good news is, though, if you Epidemic properly, the Wisps aren't really a problem at all. And Harpoon is the boss item. Obviously, you don't want to accidentally kill yourself with that, but who knows what'll happen. Can also be used to your advantage. Kill an enemy, use your shift, you can get really far really fast. And with a Forgive Me Please, that is a little bit of movement speed. Movement speed that some of these racers still need. Right, Kei only has 1 hoof. Jodo, only 1 hoof. Mallard just has the Mocha, and then Gruggy, 1 hoof. Man, I wonder what that Mocha was. What's the only one to have found it? There's a Scorpion inside the Stage 3 TP. I believe in that Chant Shrine. Chant Shrine, which is a double success. Gets a Fuel Cell, gets a Scorpion. That's very good. That'll help. Boka was in the Tri-Shop, okay. So it was probably that over the watch then. Johto playing it really safe with the Elders here. As Mallard has both a Mocha and Hoof now, most movement speed out of any racer. Aside from K, if you really want to count the Harpoon as more than that. Which you kinda could. One thing to point out as well, I haven't really said it yet, but we're gonna notice, unless K like dies again or somehow loses them. See how K has double pennies from stage 1, printed them? None of the other racers went for that, and now K was able to just immediately go to the stage 3 TP, sees a bleed printer. If you're K right now, if you have Scorpion, if you have a bleed printer, maybe perhaps you try and see, is there maybe an equipment, like a, I don't know, a crowdfunder? If you have a crowdfunder, you will melt enemies. And I hate saying the phrase melting enemies. Is that a band printer? Oh, there's just a Reynolds printer on stage 3. Well, you definitely want to find that, and K finds it. And you look at your green items. Okay, what can I lose? I can lose my fuel cell. That's going to be unfortunate. I can lose the ukulele. That would be unfortunate. Everything else, though, maybe the ignition tank would suck to lose. Not really a big deal to lose them. But Casey still has, well, at least one fire band. Still has the ukulele. Wants to hold on to him. That's fair. And oh my god, what happened? Mallard, who activated a combat shrine, got hit last second from a mending Beetle Guard and is still at $102. Was it because of the death that none of the money was given to Mallard upon the Beetle Guard dying? Was it because of the blight from a past life that finished the job, that no money was given to Mallard? He got robbed. Was that 100 before and 100 after, or something of the sort? Barely got anything from that, but K finds another key, has Lysate, has Void Band. You don't go for the Void Band, because that's throwing in this setup. That one, you just got through a Reynolds printer. And the Lysate is just more epidemic. K's going to opt to just go for the next stage. And hey, there's a Coil printer. And a different green thing. Oh, Shuriken. Okay, if I'm K, I don't care about my greens. I don't care about anything. Go all in. You don't need Ice Band. It's go time. It is 100% Shuriken time. I would not just go up for 1 or 2. I mean, how many items does K have right now? There's a Bandolier, 1 Fire Band, 1 Ukulele, the 2 Ice Bands, 5, 6, 7. You could be at like 9 or 10 Shuriken. Oh, there's a Scrapper. That could be good. Maybe K saw that off in the distance. Bought a +5. Yeah, hit the combat shrine. If you kill the enemy, you get 1 free death. Mallard tied in real time with K with the death. Gruggy and Johto with that 5-minute advantage, but K with the double penny advantage. Right, K's a whole stage ahead. Johto hasn't activated stage 3 TP, neither has Gruggy. That's a whole TP event still to go. And K is just opting to go for like 4 shurikens. Each of those shurikens are going to do... Let me see. Each one normally does 400%, 5, 6, 700%. And you have 7 shuriken at max. I mean... Phase 4 skips are cool, Harpoon skips are cool, or Harpoon movement speed's cool. But 10 shurikens, man. I'm going all in. I'm going to stop there. Because I think there's still potential value that maybe I'm not seeing. We'll see what happens for K. Not going to harp on it for too much, or for too long. I feel like I already have. But man, just so many green items. And oh no! Johto just got overwhelmed by the Grove Tender. And perhaps by the Greater Wisp as well? Something happened. Maybe it had something to do with standing on top of a Grove Tender as wisps were flying out without gasoline or anything of the sort. And takes a death, might even take a second if this Greater Wisp lands a shot, does not land a shot. 2 Glacial Wisps are dead. Johto's going to be able to survive, deals with the initial spawn wave from the TP event. Gruggy, meanwhile, destroyed the TP boss just fine, is chilling. We'll see how Mallard does. Mallard did have a death. You don't want to have double death. Oh, right. 6 Ice Bands. Yeah, Gruggy is the only one deathless. And I'll say it, Gruggy knows his stuff. Knows his Risk of Rain. Gruggy is probably like one of the most common chatters I'll see. Is always playing, always posting like runs that are going down. Like, hey, I had this run. I got this, this, and this. It's definitely very active as a player, active within the community. Watches Race, watches Dan, watches Cap, watches me, the 2 times that I actually play this game. And just is absorbing all that knowledge, right? Is applying it. Oh god, there's a scrapper down here. Ooh, that's gonna be nice. That's gonna be nice. If Gruggy can find that band printer, or maybe even a crowdfunder down the line. No, maybe not so much on that. You also have 3 crowbars. Maybe not going for the bleed would be a good play. I think so. Yeah. Bleed is bait. Well. Okay. Gruggy's PC's fine. You don't post those? You used to. And while I'm talking about that, of the origin of Gruggy or not, Kei gets 2 Void Cradles, one of which is a Polyloot, the other Tentabobble. There is 4 Shurikens. Again, I feel like if you just went all in on the Shuriken, now you're proccing Sticky Bomb off of those Polyloots that are also coming through the Shurikens. Right? And those Polyloots are proccing Scorpion, and just all of that proc chain is kind of building up through there. Oh, man. Here we go. Mending Elder Lemurian, Horde of Many, as a stage 5 TP. There's 2 Mending Elders. You get 1 Giga Shuriken every 10 seconds. There we go. That's the Fire Band and all. That's nice. And there goes an Elixir. Gone. But thankfully, it was an Elixir and not Kei's actual life. It's going to be able to finish those off. Just the damage is insane. Acrid has the highest base damage, I believe, of 15. Which is like 2 more than the next best of Engineer at 13. And then everyone else, I believe, is at like 12, except for Multi at 11. Oh, wow. Gruggy, the next one, the stage 4 here. Again, those penny value. That penny value really kicking in for Kei. Just 2 pennies. Was able to, like, clear all of stage 4, get a ton of items for loot. And at 24 minutes real time, is a whole stage ahead of second place of Gruggy. Gruggy's has 5 minutes to be able to finish off all of stage 4. And get to the stage 5 TP and get 50% done in the next 5 minutes in order to be up in real time. If I'm Gruggy, my best chances of winning is hoping that Kei dies twice if I was in this position. Is that a Lepton printer? No way. Now that's the printer you go into. Oh no. Yep, that's another Void Infested Gup. Let's go. Love to see it. We'll see what happens for Mallard here. Third one is stage 4. Gets the encrusted key back. Yeah, no one's going for the Lysate. No one's going for the Void Bandit. given that everyone found the band printer on stage 3, given that everyone has FMP with ignition tank with gasoline, everyone except for Johto anyway, which might be the cause for a future soon-to-be death, perhaps. I'm curious, does anyone go for the Shuriken printer? Because the problem is, you go all into this Ice Band printer, and you're like, oh yes, this is it. I have an Ice Band, and I've got 6 of them. This is certainly the build that I go for. And he'll do a lot. Mallard doesn't even have one Shuriken, though. We'll have to land a melee hit on this Dune Strider in order to proc bands. If you even want to do that, maybe you want to proc your bands instead on something else like a Greater Wisp. Greater Wisp that is Void Touched. Alright, you have to clear the Void Seed before you can even activate or get inside and charge the TP. Alright, poor Gruggy's learning that. Gruggy, the only one without a death, who had to deal with an additional Void Gup after opening up that Void Cradle. Or killing an enemy and having the Infestor move over. Here comes a random Mushroom, though. Accidentally lands on it. It's funny. And Focus Crystal Printer's found. Kei's on the moon. Kei has safer spaces. Kei with the double pennies, just able to do all of this, everything that everyone else is doing, so much faster. Even with that one death. Has the Shurikens, has the Ice Bands, has 2 Crowbars. That's going to make phase 2 really fast. 3 armor piercing round. Double Polyloot. And 1 watch. Just all of that together. That's pretty good. That's pretty darn good. I'm trying to think of ways for you know, any comeback mechanic whatsoever. And right now, I don't see any. I think Kei is going to... Even if Kei died once, right? Do you see any of these other racers catching up and getting to where Kei is at on the moon in the course of 10 minutes? I don't think so. Here he goes. Going down, looking for the rock, finds the rock, looking at it. Launches forward, that's good for the first launch. Uses the shift to get a little extra leap. Don't even need safer spaces for this skip. It's definitely convenient to have during the Mithrix fight, though. Looks for the rock in the sky. There we go. Is going to start sprinting backwards. Gets the multi-skip. And yeah, it's honestly just faster to go back down and go for round 3. Rather than to try and climb, finish the climb with Frenzied Leap. There he goes. That's going to do it. Oh god, stuck. Look out for the Void Crab. Void Jailer. On Johto. Was hugging that thing for a while. Johto's still got 3 enemies to clear. Oh. Oh. Uh-oh. 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 No shift. No shift. No shift. No shift. It takes a death. I think the shift might have come out last second. But that is a Void Jailer Orb Death. Chased down with just such little amount of movement speed. Again, only 1 Goat Hoof on Acrid's giant hitbox. It now is standing at 3 deaths. Oh, man. Yeah, it gets the detained until end of time message. Oh, man. That's a rare one. And speaking of rare stuff, look at this build on Blight Acrid. A rare sight to see. Actual damage being dealt to Mithrix. How much you want to say Blight is kicking into there? Is contributing to Mithrix's death? I would say about 1%, maybe 1.5% of all that damage was Blight. That's about it. No more, no less. When you have a build like this, though, even if we can talk about poison, I would say poison would have done, like, 15% of Mithrix's health there, which is still not a lot. This build is insane. It's cracked. These shurikens with these bands, these crowbars. It's all good. Meanwhile, poor Gruggy hasn't even activated Stage 4 TP, while Kei is on Phase 3 of Mithrix. Johto's been trying to charge the TP a little bit, or do something, but there's just like one Void Larva, or a Void Touch Stone Titan. Oh no. Oh, that's not good. Rocking Deathmark, though. That's good. You don't want to take a death here if you're Johto. Already at 3. Even though you're probably not going to get in first place here at this point with those deaths. Among other things. You don't want to go down to 4 deaths. Because then you start looking at DNF territory. This run is definitely still winnable. With all the ice bands, personally, I still think... Oh, landed in a mushroom. Yep. Void Touch Mushroom Spit. That's going to be a death. Johto now at 4. Kei starting pizza here. Watches the Mithrix dies. Are Polyloots a thing? What's going on? There's like no Polyloot proccing on Kei right now. Oh man. Oh. Bottom left. Lost the ignition tank for ice bands. Johto found a fire aspect. So maybe that might be able to help. There isn't really any good equipments that you find this run. It's a free debuff with Deathmark. So that might actually be insane. Look how easy it is to be able to do Deathmark. As Johto actually went for the bleed build that I was talking about earlier. Right, one crowdfunder away from that. At the very least, that bleed, while not providing that giga damage that Johto was seeking, is instantly getting Deathmark procced. Doesn't need the ice bands or anything. I mean, it's Scorpion, Blight, Fire, and Bleed. 50% chance of proccing Deathmark on application. Oh, there was a Plasma Shrimp that was missed. That Mallard finds. Oh, Kei getting hit, getting slowed by the walls. Rushes on forward. Johto just trying to barely stay alive. Hanging in there, using the regeneration of the M1, the third hit on that. Getting tiny bits of health, but that's a Blazing Larva. And that's another death. Johto at 5 deaths. Read my rule book. I don't think getting fire aspects changes the outcome of DNF or not, but it does give you coolness points. Other things that give coolness points, getting Grove Scavs to spawn is pretty cool. What else is cool? That one time where Popcore was going to die and ended up no-clipping as multi, but somehow feathered out last second and didn't die from it. That was cool. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. Definitely a cool way to go out, though. Or maybe not so cool, but a hot one. Kei get Shuriken Skip? I believe it was just Fireband. Wasn't paying attention, though. Worship Unit Skip? Yeah, that's definitely coolness points. I forgot about that one, my bad. And Kei's gonna finish off here as Gruggy, still deathless, is at 192 curse, 300, 492 curse. How much curse is that? I can't even read. I can't even tell. 469, still alive at 1560, 80 health. Broach value kicking in. Oh my god. 469 curse. 479 curse. And still alive. 520 curse. Still alive. Has 300 health because of Broach. Broach doing Broach things when you're at 500 curse. Doing its job. Mallard has Polyplasma with some crit. Has double Encrusted Key. Has 5 ice bands. Doesn't have any shurikens. I don't think found the shuriken printer or didn't think of the value of the shuriken printer, but that's really good. And we're actually going to go ahead and read the time for Kei here. As Mending Elder Horde of Many kicks in. Kei has a 3910. So I'll just put up time to deny double bonus. Which is 4910. I think that's maybe potentially possible for some of these racers here. But GG to Kei, again, saw the printers, knew when to move, and huge play. Picking up those pennies on stage 1, even with the death. It's looking like it's going to be in a really, really, really good spot. Well done, Kei. Dio's best friend found for Gruggy. Nice. Hold on. That's one death you can take. Huh? Oh, no way. Well, at least you had the Dios. But Gruggy, in the most acrid way possible, uses the shift to land safely and hits like a pixel on the side of a branch. Oh, you just got... I don't want to lecture anyone, and I don't want to lecture you, Gruggy. I know you're in the chat right now. It's the dumbest thing ever, but just be careful when using the shift. Try not to land on anything small, and try not to land on anything that's near a wall. Because Acrid's Collider isn't as present as it seems. It's actually disjointed a little bit, and you'll often find lame stuff like that happening. Yeah, definitely at least not a +5, and that's probably the quickest Dio's loss ever recorded in racing history, and maybe outside of racing history. That was instant. That was literally 2 seconds. And I already made a title on a video called The Dio's Disaster, where it was like a loss of 20 seconds of a Dio's, but that just beats it right there. Hold on. Gruggy gonna make it to stage 5. Mallard and Johto, though, on the TP event. Johto dealing with an almost dead Soul's Control unit. That's something you really don't want to keep alive. That's something that you want to kill before you activate TP. I know you want to go fast, and technically speaking, like, it's pretty much the only option you have to be able to go fast. Yo, Pokin, thank you so much for the 5 months. I appreciate it. That is indeed a fire aspect in a race. Johto found it. The Mad Lad. Oh yeah, using... Okay, there we go. That's good. Using the artifact portal, a really good spot. But again, that darned Soulless Control unit just needs to die. You get slowed by like 60% or so every time it gets you. I will actually pull Kei's screen off here. Go. Did Gruggy find Shuriken? No. Nobody found the Shuriken except for Kei. I think maybe a couple racers did, but opted to go for ice bands over. Personally, if it was me, I would have gone all in 100% on Shuriken. I would have dropped every single green item. Maybe if I kept the fire band at the end, I would have kept that. But is artifact portal tech allowed? Yes. It is a method. You're just not allowed to, like, go inside of a rock or something, for instance, for safety. I might change it, personally. But not any time during the league. I want to keep the rules consistent. And that's another death for Johto. Time to complete, by the way, overall is 79.90. Johto has about 10 minutes before a force concede happens. That was banned because it was OP. Check the rules. Shouldn't be in there. It's about as overpowered as just hovering over a cliff and watching everything jump. Happens a lot. The AI in this game are really smart. And if you're Johto here with this blazing aspect, if you know, I mean that it's been almost dead for like 4 minutes now for Johto, and that thing is just it slows down. There it goes. Your movement speed's 1 hoof. It's nothing more than that, and it's another death, and that's gonna put over. There's gonna be a timeout soon, and unfortunately Johto's gonna have to concede. Really cool to see the fire aspect, but I mean when you have Souls control units, I'm sure Johto was probably tilted after death number 2, after death number 3, after being told that he had to play Blight Acrid. But if you ever have a Souls control unit, you gotta make sure they're dead if they're gonna get below a certain health threshold. Which I think they start doing the slow thing at 25%. What's Kei's time? 39:10 with 1 death. Kei is asleep, or Cheese is asleep. Giving Johto false hope. Quick, Johto. Finish the run before he wakes up. Oh, no. Oh. I think it's good. It's good. He's good. Keep going. Keep going. On the moon now. Wake up, Cheese. Cheese, go back in time. Tell the Cheese of racing past. Of week 5 to pull him out. Give Johto a point simply for the aspect. We call those coolness points. Johto gets a coolness point for having the blazing aspect. It's very cool, very rare to see, which is awesome. But unfortunately, that's about as much as it does. Gruggy, by the way, using wings, not the Lazarus kind. Timeout's called. This Mallard took a death maybe like 2 seconds prior. Kind of cool at least for Cheese to wait for Mallard to die before calling timeout. It's a good point, a safe point. At least it wasn't ice. True. Very true. Alright. Mallard's looking for some music to listen to. Johto's getting the message. Okay, concedes. Oops. I went back in time. The concede happens now. Here we go. Leave a healing orb when you die? True. You could heal your friends and your enemies for 40. Or 80 for that matter, because they don't have the Eclipse modifiers. The enemies, at least. Okay, but Mallard and Gruggy are back. We'll go ahead and zoom down over to them. Time to deny doubles, 49:10. Only one able to technically do it would be Gruggy. Doesn't have much time. Has to do the whole Mithrix fight and be on the ship in about 5 minutes. Which I would say is still technically doable. You would just have to be really, really fast at this point. But it's definitely a huge opportunity for either Mallard or Gruggy. If either of these racers can get and win this run before 79-minute mark, they get 2 points, 2 raw points, which is really good, and sets them up in a really good spot for getting in third or second. But that's going to be death number 1 for Gruggy, actually, unfortunately. So he starts winging around. Obviously, we can't see the wings Erasers, Mallard, and Gruggy both are using the mod that removes item displays. It is permitted within the league. It's an in-house mod, so it's a-okay. That's how we know they're not injecting bonus stats and armor into the game. Man, you know what sucks for Gruggy is Gruggy wouldn't have any deaths right now if it wasn't for the Dios incident. I'll actually go ahead and change time to complete. Complete, that is to kill Mithrix Phase 4. They have until 79:10, which is about 25 minutes for Mallard and still about 30 for Gruggy. That last Mending Elders is still just hanging on. Man, if they found the Shurikens, this would be so free for him. At least one Shuriken would have been great. To be able to proc bands from range, from a distance. I know they have to get into it. They have to be melee if they want to do anything with it. And that's another death, yeah. Tries to go for the kill. Takes a death as a result. Gets a regen scrap. Boss item, and still has another 60% to go on the TP. Mallard, meanwhile, only has about 13% to go, both at 2 deaths. Looking for differences between these. We see that Gruggy has fire bands, Mallard does not. Both have the Scorpion. Oh, Gruggy doesn't have poly... Oh, no, Gruggy does have polyolite plasma shrimp. They both have polyplasma. Gruggy has double poly, actually. It's a little bit more on the damage side for that. They both have 2 keys. Gruggy has 1 focus crystal, if that means much. I guess since the band proc has to be melee, that could increase the damage on that a little bit. Ooh, but a fire band found for Mallard. That's going to be good. Phase 4 skip's got it a lot easier now. You don't have to try and go for an M1 skip. And oh man, poor Gruggy. Being completely flawless and deathless up until this point, until about 2 minutes ago. Now at 3 deaths. Could have been 2 deaths if not for the incident. Standing at 61 minutes, and now what used to be a comfortable half-hour sponge has turned into about a 20-minute gap. Things are looking not too good for Gruggy. That opens the door a little bit more for Mallard here. Finding a death mark in terms of debuffs has the Blight, has 2 Bleed, has Scorpion, and has Ice Band. So technically able to proc death mark. Being a little bit awkward to pull off. Gets an Opal, now has 2. There is safer spaces on stage 5. We saw Kei with that. That would help a lot for Mallard and for Gruggy. Gruggy, who already has it. Mallard doesn't have it yet. Be nice to have. Sticky Bomb. Razor Wire. At the very least for Gruggy, things are looking a little bit more clear. Not looking like there's going to be too much more death. Oh, those bells are descending, though. That's scary. Activates wings, takes a few shots. Oh, there's a mending. 100 health remaining for Gruggy. I spoke too soon on things being deathless from here on out for Gruggy, but that's a yikes. Safer space is found for Mallard. Mallard's feeling confident now. He's got a pretty okay-ish build. Is this a Shuriken? No, it's Fireworks. Can you work with wings, can work with Scorp, or not Scorp, I mean, has Scorp. There was, what is that, Primordial Cube and something else. Sommering? Yeah, that's the one, starts with an S. Goes for a drone, good call. Hopefully it doesn't break right before the parch. Are you kidding me? There was like 50,000 mushroom guts. Quadrillion spores on the TP, and Mallard, who felt like, oh, there's just a couple bits I can step in and step out. I'm accurate. I have 20 base armor. I have 2 rose bucklers. I've got, you know, my safer spaces in Opal. A lot of stuff preventing me from taking a lot of damage from that. But no! Instant death! Instant annihilation. Takes a death, now has to deal with that death. Now down to 64 minutes, only has 15 minutes to complete this. Definitely doable still, I would say. This is a very optimal build. 3 piercing rounds, 2 fire bands, 6 ice bands, polyplasma. This is good material. And you can even be a little bit aggressive on phase 2 with those chimeras, right? With the rose bucklers in hand, they're not going to do too much damage to you. They'll definitely hurt a little, though. Not a 20-minute chimera you're dealing with. These things are quite a high level, level 50 to be exact, half of max. Gruggy done with the TP, trying to get some healing drones or something. Got 2 wings as Mallard. A straight shot up to the moon, or to the arena. But here's the encrusted box. Gets ooh, yeah, there you go. 2 plasma shrimp. That's gonna be good. It's something you want to see. Now dealing 80% damage on hit. It's running up. Again, 65 minutes. Time to complete 79. And Gruggy took a death from that Void Jailer. Already done with the TP, just gets annihilated from it, though. Wants to try and finish off this Void Seed. Isn't feeling comfortable with all these deaths, though. 71 minutes now. Only is down to 8 with that next death that just happened. 1 death, and it's pretty much over for Gruggy. Gruggy's going to have to just play flawless. Take like 1 or 2 items at tops at most, and is actually going to have to just straight up not do this Void Seed. What are you going to get? 2 potentials? It's not much. Gruggy's going in anyways while Mallard is doing the Mithrix fight. With safer spaces, I would be trying to do a little bit of melee attacks. Again, Mithrix doesn't do any like double hurt, like double attacks. The hammer swipe is even just a single hit. As long as you got spaces, you cannot take damage from Mithrix. From pretty much any of his attacks. Now, once phase 3 happens, it's a completely different story. And okay, there you go. Now you got to be careful, right? You lose your safer spaces, play it safe a little bit. Yeah, at least use your spit. You've got that. Try and build up some what's it called? Scorpion. There you go. There's a shift, there's Death Mark. And oh, nope, yeah, there you go. Steps out at the last second, at the last moment. Mallard, who has 12 minutes, if Mallard finishes this fight, gets 2 points, is looking really good for second place. There we go. Just gets a shift off, but isn't really using any of the other abilities. You can at least use your Neurotoxin, you can at least use your Epidemic. You get him back really fast, and it adds a lot more damage than you really think. Right, you saw K with all the shurikens and everything was still getting M1s in, was still getting Epidemics in. Right, every armor that's being reduced from Mithrix is like 1% more damage you're doing. If not more. If you like saw the armor value going down and like saw a percent number of like, you do this much more percent damage to Mithrix because of X armor. Right, I think you'd be seeing a lot more damage being dealt through other means. And yeah, Mallard's starting to pick up on that. Oh, my M1's doing a lot. Mithrix is getting down low. Boom. Good band application. Good slam. Using those spaces, but also stuck with the what, 1 Mocha and 1 Goat Hoof. Right, there's no energy drinks this run. I want to say that Mallard actually had more movement speed than K. Let me see. Yeah. Yep. Kei actually had less speed. But did have the harpoon. Was used a little bit. Just shurikens, man. Add up. Shurikens. I used to speedrun Accurate all the time. I did it for about 2 months. I used to be the world record holder for the Gauntlet category in Accurate. Held that for about 8 months. And then, it was 8 or 7 months, something like that. And then I lost it to Ruddy recently, maybe about 2 months ago. Because Ruddy found Stompers on stage 1. And oh god, you cannot die if you're Mallard. Really can't afford death. If you're gruggy, I mean, you're getting up to the Mithrix Arena now. Really just gotta hope that someone else messed up a bunch if you're gruggy at that many deaths, at 75 minutes getting to the Mithrix Arena. Right, because you're assuming that everyone was at least 35 minutes slower. For your fight to go all the way back down, looks like Gruggy's trying to go to soups and stuff. That's assuming that everyone had like a 50-minute run minimum. Yeah, Gruggy sees that and is like, nope, I gotta go. There is a sense of urgency. Here in the hosting league, here on twitch.tv/GamerRich_0st, where we're watching this battle for 3rd place, or 2nd place, I should say, between Mallard and Gruggy. But more than just a battle for 2nd place, a battle against the clock. As 40 minutes is the cutoff from 1st place before everyone gets DNF'd. And that happens at 79:10 for these racers. Down to 8 minutes. Now it is. Gruggy has to do it in 3. And for the time, doesn't have to be when they're on the ship or done with the ship charge, just has to have Mithrix dead. Phase 3 Dunzo. Phase 3 ads are going to be tough. I think they are too. Without, my Safer Spaces block, Mallard. Without access to shurikens, right? You're not able to just plow them down with the crowbars and everything else like Kei did. Also, keep in mind, Kei was at like 32 minutes. Real time. As opposed to these racers who, I mean, what, we're like at 55, 56, 57 minutes. Right, they have like almost double health. Twice the effort to take them down. Gruggy's got 2 minutes to get through 2 phases. Probably not going to happen. It's all up to Mallard here. If Mallard can just not die, we'll be able to pull it off and get 2 points to have a chance maybe to come back against Kei in the 2nd loadout. Mallard, who has been kind of struggling a little bit, was a little bit higher up in the standings just a couple weeks ago. I remember Mallard was like 13th seed, 12th seed. It's kind of slipping as of late, down to the 16th here. And taking these shots, taking these hits, you cannot die if you are Mallard. If you are Mallard, that brings you to 77, and you have like 2 minutes to kill Mithrix. You cannot afford death, and you have 130 curse. Thankfully, Mithrix does not take you out with the hammer, but the slam does. Now at 77 minutes, tied with Gruggy. It's not looking good. They've got 1 minute. I don't think it's going to happen. I think if maybe Mallard was a little bit more aggressive on phase 1, had that death also not happened, right? I'm saying all these maybes and ifs and buts and whatnot. It's hard to do all this when you're using the alternate slam on Acrid, and you have 1 Mocha and a hoof as all of your movement speed. It's tough. My personal preference is at least 3.5, 4 speed items on Acrid. That's an at least. What you really want is to have, I would say, 7. And then you're really chilling. But not 1.5. 1.5 is yikes. And for both of these racers here, I mean, Gruggy didn't have much of a good speed situation either. It's looking like a triple DNF here, and Kei is going to be at a really comfortable lead. With no one having any points. The only chance that these racers have to come back is Kei is really going to have to mess up. Kei needs to get in 4th place this next loadout, and someone has to get double bonus points for there to be a chance. So well done, Kei. Pulled off 40 minutes better than any other racer. Even with a death. Did really good, and that's it. That's the time. And Cheese is on it. Calls the timeout, and that's going to be GG. Well done, Kei. Blow it out 1. Let's go hand out those points. 2. Let's go. Titanic Plains starting stage 4. Our racers here. Is Gruggy score display Wii Sports? Got nothing but home runs coming for for Cool Mallard. Love it. Love to see it. Jets Pizza sponsorship. If they say yes, I'd be so happy. You gotta petition on their Twitter. Tell them to reach out. I'm going all in. I would go all in on a Jets Pizza sponsorship. But we gotta get the numbers up. They look at this league and they're like, competitive Risk of Rain 2, what? That's nothing. No one watches that. People just watch ice hockey in Columbus. Apparently they have a deal down there where every time the Red or Blue Jackets win a game, you get free or 50% off Jets Pizza the whole day. It's insane. And what else is insane here? And Loadout 2 with this Artificer Ion Surge run. Ion Surge able to give good vision, good views on all the items around. Kei found a Gorse Tome. And is going to be able to get a lot more money. We saw this happen in the first loadout. Kei is like, okay, what can I do to increase the rate at which I gain my strength? The answer to that is pennies and Gorse Tome. Right? You're able to just straight up get more money per second, more money per minute. Means more items per minute, means you can get to the moon with more items on Eclipse 8, right? That's what's important. You can do an any percent run or something like that, where you have to get kind of lucky with Artifact of Sacrifice, or maybe if you're not doing a sacrifice run, it's like Vanilla Monsoon or something, then it's just about getting Lunars and then the Newt Portal. But here in Gauntlet Racing, where it's on Eclipse 8, where you need a ton of items to be good. Maybe for some loadouts, others not so much, but the more items, the more powerful, the faster the run. Everyone's going to get Shurikens as the TP boss, but a Gorse Tome, right? 4% chance of getting a gold drop. A gold drop is the equivalent of 1 small chest's worth of money, right? Sometimes you can get a little unlucky with it, but yeah, there's Mallard with the pennies there, just kind of sitting in the back of the map, waiting for something, waiting for the enemies to spawn in. There goes the Gorse Tome for Gruggy. That's nice. Wouldn't be surprised if Kei just leaves. I think you have no movement speed. White items are hard to get outside of stage 1, 2, and 3. I feel like you want to try and get a few. If you've got 90 bucks, spend 1 minute. There's a try shop up in the middle. You're pinging stuff, seeing what's over there. All right, you want to go into it a little bit. Right, there's piercing rounds, there's crowbars. That adds up. Gotta make those 93 bucks go into something. There goes Kei, enough to get 4 chests worth of stuff. Meanwhile, Mallard has, oh, that's nice. Not only pennies, but also has a repulsion armor plate, able to get money really, really fast and really, really safe. So different forms of farming. We'll see what this try shop in the corner is. Both Mallard and Kei are going towards that. There's bleed, a question mark, and something you can't really quite tell what it is. It's a backup magazine. Kei got a gasoline. Okay, that was the question mark. Kei went for the question mark. The question mark was gasoline. Over here on this other try shop Kei's going to, we saw Jodo just get it. There was a repulsion armor plate, movement speed, and something else. Jodo went for the repulsion. I don't know if he did or didn't see the drink. I would have gone for the drink in a heartbeat over the repulsion. Repulsion's cool. It's defensive. Defense is nice, especially with pennies. But if you could just have the speed and have a way of farming pennies, right? you don't necessarily need the rep to farm. Though with a Phalian Sanctuary coming up as a stage 2, it might be necessary a little bit. Definitely helps. Movement speed, I mean, we just saw it in the past, how important it is at times. There's a mountain shrine on stage 1, by the way, that Gruggy did. Gruggy's going to have 2 shurikens if he can do this without dying. He's trying to charge the TP at the same time. Would have been nice to maybe have that repulsion armor, but went for the drink, which again was good, but what isn't good is standing on the ground, got shot by a wisp, landed on that cube, and the queen went for a spit. And the spit only deals damage if you're on the ground, but Gruggy didn't realize it until it's too late, and that's a death. Death number 1 for Gruggy. 5 minutes behind every other racer, though, has a chance to get double shuriken. Might end up with a yellow item, might end up with that Queen's Gland. We'll see what happens. Whatever it's going to have to be a lot for, or a really, really bad run for an extra shuriken to make up for those 5 minutes and lost watch. Yikes. Other racers a little low on health. No watch is broken. No one else had a watch aside from Gruggy and Kei. And they're going to be alright. Jodo struggling a little bit with the aim on Artificers M1. We've all been there. Has a gold drop on the ground, gonna save that for the next stage. Kei on stage 2 found a firework. And that's about it. I'm gonna activate TP, has $58. There's a Void Cradle right next to Teleport, has a Harvester's Scythe for healing throughout the event. Pretty difficult to get that value. You almost wonder, maybe do you go for the mountain or Shrine of the Woods a little bit, right? I mean, borderline about to break the watch, might accidentally break something more than a watch, has to step out of the TP bound. Mallard getting the Mocha, getting the War Banner that Jodo also has. Jodo takes the gold with him. And is on to stage 2. Okay, Kei got a level up, got a little bit more health back, and maybe take one shot from a pest or wisp. That's about it. Pretty manageable still though at 7 minutes. Jodo has double crowbar. That's not bad. With the M2. As long as the sparks don't get rid of your crowbars, you can get some pretty good damage. It's 2,000% on the full charge of the Ion Bomb, which is pretty good. Right, you get 2 crowbars, that's an extra 150% damage off of that, and suddenly your 2,000% base damage is, what, 4,000 or 5,000%? That's pretty good. Let's see, yeah, there you go, with the shurikens, already at half health for the boss. Jodo's just immediately going from TP to TP, had that gold orb from the last stage, and just brought that with him to here. And now has to be careful, bursted the Vagrant down pretty low, does it have cover available? Don't want to go too low where you teleport back up. Has enough shurikens though, no level up on the boss, almost had the level up happen though. Had it been a few seconds later in that position, things could have ended pretty poorly for Jodo. Not today, though. Okay, maybe like 15 seconds, I take it back. Okay. Safer Spaces is the Void item inside the TP. Really nice, really good. Mallard, who opted to go for the Shrine of the Woods play, which we did talk about for a few seconds. It is an option of healing inside the TP, which could help. Does not have the Vagrant immediately at half health because no crowbars. Does not have the armor piercing round. Mallard at least has pennies instead of damage, extra damage. Maybe that could be better down the line. We gotta figure out here. If you're Mallard... Oh. Huh? What? What happened? Okay, we're back. Cool. And Mallard killed the boss, did not lose a life. Very cool, very good. Love to see it. Johto now also with safer spaces. Kei went over to a couple items over at the top island, on the far part of spawn, or opposite side of spawn, and gets a backup mag and a stun grenade. I like the backup mag, and I guess there was a crowbar as well. Those are some good items. Right, went and looted the map a little bit instead of hitting the mount or Shrine of the Woods. The Shrine of the Woods would have been minus one item. Okay, you gotta, yeah, go for that. Goes for the last second, has a couple seconds to think, says, oh, I'll take safer spaces, and grabs a barrel upon leaving. Has $14 in stage 3. Huge. Okay. Spaces on everyone, obviously. Hardblade Afterburner. Oh. Hold up. Johto has an Afterburner found in a... Was it a large chest? No, it was a large utility chest. And Mallard's gonna have it too. And Kei's not gonna be with it, so that's a really free pillar skip. You can just do one host skip with Artificer, like bounce yourself up with the safer spaces, and then just go Ion Surge, Ion Surge, Ion Surge, and you're already almost in the arena. That's nice. That's a good find. And, okay, the thing happens. Looks back. Not the right one. Okay, Mr. Backseat, get out of here. Oh my god, with that attitude. Okay, it has a lot of snap freezes. Really good. Definitely not a Lysate Cell, which I was talking about. Nope, not so whatsoever. Nope. I never said anything about that. I totally know my items and what they do. And if anything, that's even better, right? Being stuck with the Charged Nano Bomb, not many opportunities to freeze Mithrix, but with triple Snap Freeze, with Snap Freeze being so much quicker. And with a Royal Capacitor on Mallard? Oh. Oh, I'm liking that. I'm liking that. What can I like about Kei's loadout as opposed to Mallard? Well, Kei's on stage 3 TP. It's a little bit faster. Right? Already has 10% done. Has a crowbar. Oh, we lost someone again. We once again lost Mallard. Mallard's gone. Timeout's called. Gruggy gets the message the second time through. And we should be good now. Let's see what's happened to Mallard. Hopefully no deaths. Yeah, in case you didn't get the joke, chat, I don't pay my refs. So instead of $0.00, it's $0.00. It's entirely voluntary, what Cheese is doing here. Mallard having started the TP as well, dealing with some overloading flying pests. A good thing about those, obviously, probably one of the easiest elite enemies in the game, because they don't stick you with the bubbles. If a bubble, or if an overloading pest hits you, the bubble just kind of floats in midair, does nothing, and you're safe. As long as you're moving. Negative wage, Cheese is in debt now. Yeah, I'll charge Cheese $2 an hour to ref for me. It's an experience. You can put it on your resume. Yeah, it's exposure. Isn't that what they do nowadays? Afterburner found, by the way, for Gruggy. Will now definitely not have 3 Ion Surges, but will have 3 Snap Freezes, because I never said anything about Ion Surge. Indeed. Ignition tank is found. That's actually really good for a gruggy. No one else has that ignition tank, right? I'm scanning, looking through all of the items. No, it's not true. Mallard has one. Which is good for the M1. Getting that ignition. But what's not good for Mallard, at 48 health, look out for those alpha constructs. They're slowly picking away at your health bar. Oh, but what a huge crit. Only a 6% chance to crit for Mallard. Lands a Harvester Scythe crit. Gets pretty much back up to full health. Would maybe be dead if not for it. And, I mean... Oh, gets a Feather for the TP item. Which, Feather's kind of awkward on Artificer. You can kind of pull it off with Ion Surge, but so often you just want to... You know, you use the Ion Surge and your Feather's there, and you're trying to descend a little bit, and then suddenly you bounce back up, and you're exposed to a Vagrant Blast or something. It's happened to me. And if not a Vagrant Blast, it's something else. Dehydrate, if you... Need your pay doubled? Okay, sure. Write a letter to me explaining what you'll do with the double wage, and I might consider it. As there's 2 Void Seeds, 21 enemies on Kei's game. It's an encrusted key. Not really gonna help much. Kei trying to go for a worship unit tech with the Void Seed. Gonna try and kill it with the Void Seed. Infestors are flying left and right. Eggs are being broken. Now you don't want the worship unit to get infested outside of the bubble. If a worship unit gets, or any enemy for that matter, gets infested outside of the Void Seed, what can end up happening is it doesn't take any damage from the Void Bubble. Now, if an enemy gets infested inside the Void Seed, it still is taking Void Fog damage until it walks out of the Void Seed and walks back into it. Which is pretty hard to do when you're a giant sphere that's already like a fifth of the size of the seed. Joe's going quick. Oh yeah. It has Caffeinator though. With any fireworks? No. No fireworks on the remote Caffeinator. Okay, trying to pull in the whatever it's called, Alloy Worship Unit? Yeah. It didn't get Void Touch, did it? No, not yet. It's still inside the bubble. As long as it doesn't leave this bubble, it will continue to take damage. It'll take a little bit of time. Yeah, we can see Johto's doing it as well. Both of them inside the bubble. Johto's is moving really fast, though. I want to try and keep it in there. The damage slowly builds up more and more. Oh, it's about to get out. Oh. Well, you gotta rebuild up the void damage, but that's okay. Can find certain ways to do that. Mallard finds a stun grenade. Gruggy gets the, I think, Wungus on spawn. Nice. Everyone will have that. It's Scorpion. Scorpion is the item from the worship unit. So that's really big, that's really huge, it's a debuff, among other things. Good play, well done for both Johto and Kei, neither of which have the Royal Capacitor, neither of which have, or I should say neither, Kei who doesn't have the Hard Light Afterburner. Oh, Johto does have fireworks, okay. Nice. I wish I could see, like, how many Void Cradles are in that Void Seed. So I wonder, like, at what point do you go for it? I mean, I guess there's only 5 enemies left for Kei. There's no Gup that can spawn here, which is nice. It's the only Stage 4 or Stage 5, for that matter, that doesn't have Gup spawning. Right, so it's usually one of the easier Void Seeds to clear. Up can add a ton of time, right? But Mallard has Ignition Tank. Mallard has the Afterburner. Mallard is the only one with Capacitor. I take that back. Gruggy found one on stage 3, I believe, or found it also on stage 2. Neither of them have bands, but Gruggy has multiple, more than one crowbar, which is kind of cool. And Mallard is actually going to try and pull the Worship Unit inside the Void Seed. Hopefully it gets in and doesn't kill a Void enemy and get infested before that happens, or bad things happen. Okay, it's in. Cool. Kei's done with the TP. Johto got probes alongside Kei. Or completed stage 4 TP. Boss, anyway. Kei's done. He's going to try and finish off some of the enemies and get this Void Seed. Johto's just trying to not die. Using the Caffeinator a little bit, which spawns fireworks, which is cool. The downside of Caffeinator is every time you use it, it's less money for less items in the future. Which is kind of a bummer. Mallard, by the way, gets the Scorpion, is done with that. I think Scorpion maybe could be kind of cool with fireworks. You kind of use that a little bit, and up against Mithrix, maybe get some of the money from shooting golems before they jump off cliffs when Ion's surging up to the Mithrix fight. Maybe that could be good. Another Encrusted Key for Kei. Also gets a Predatory Instinct, able to do 5% more crit damage. Huge. And that's going to be probes for Mallard as well. Probes, very good. They're able to distract permanently in the air. It's like having 2 free drones that don't get in your way as much as like a Beetle Guard, which is also free allies, but actually kind of do something. Something more. Void Band found on Kei. Kei takes it. Honestly, I don't hate the decision. Right, it's more time to stun and delay Mithrix, and it's a tiny bit extra damage. More time to build up Scorpion. But that was really it. Nothing worth from that Void Seed, huh? And was that from the Void Seed? I don't even know if that was from Void Seed or not. Regardless, we see Gruggy, the only one with a death so far in this race. Doing the same thing to the Worship Unit, right? Pulling it in. Everyone had the same idea. It's a very simple spot to do it from. If the Void Fog is like in a cave or underground, you can't really pull this off. But it's not this time, so Gruggy's just going to be able to kind of hold it in and I want to say hold it in place. There we go. I almost said space and then spot and then... Oh my god. I had a verbal stroke. Needle Tick on Mallard is fine. Still needs 23% of the TP charge. And there's a Feather Printer on stage 5 that Johto's going into. Not bad. It's a little awkward though. There's a Nukahana's Opinion printer. I'm assuming it's on K screen. I wasn't looking. Oh, that's huge if true. You can turn in that garbage quality Scorpion and replace it with a Nukahana's Opinion and combine that with your Weeping Fungus for free, essentially just a slightly worse, slightly with an asterisk, worse version of what's that yellow item? Little Disciple? Yeah, that one. Gruggy trying to finish off this Void Seed before activating TP. Taking a lot of time in doing so. Mallard waiting until after TP, but is done with the TP. Now trying to finish off this seed. Both Johto and Kei essentially neck and neck, but might change here with Johto down to 16, 18, 20 health. Oh my god, barely alive. Wow, Kei is already almost done with the boss, right? Has that Void Band for a tiny bit extra damage. Has the Jade Elephant for when things get kind of tough. Johto's trying to heal up a little bit with that Caffeinator. But, what does Kei have that Johto doesn't? Well, first off, I see Kei has like an entire extra 2/3 of a row of items. We see on Kei's screen 4 safer spaces. Johto has 3 though. Ooh, nice armor piercing round pickup for Gruggy. Found 2 of them inside there. Very good. There's a wax quail for Mallard as well, that's good. Movement speed. She's emailed me about why he deserves double pay. Uh-huh. I highly doubt it's that good. Did I actually get an email? Oh, you're kidding me. From Cheese. I believe the refs deserve a raise. Dear Mr. Gamer Host, I believe myself and the other refs deserve double pay. We work very hard and I feel as though we do not get paid enough. If you double my pay, I'll use it to purchase more Jets Pizza with Turbo Crust, which will give me more energy to ref, improving the quality of my reffing. I will also use that doubled pay to help fund my glorious King Gruggy, a new PC which will improve the quality of his runs. I think not only my mental quality will improve from the increased pay, but the quality of streams would increase as well. And for these reasons, I believe that our pay should be doubled. Best regards, Cheese. You've convinced me. I will double your pay. Chat, can someone tell me what 0 times 2 is? Oh no! No! Mallard just stuck inside of that Void Cradle Seed for too long. Gets blasted by, what was that, Soul's Control Unit? Oh, jeez. Oh no! Oh no! Stuck in the Void! A double death. A double death for Mallard. Mallard, whose run was a little bit behind in real time, but wasn't so bad otherwise. Now at 2 deaths, now behind Gruggy, who's at a death. From what was that, from stage 1, stage 2? I think, yeah, it was from the Beetle Queen. So it's definitely bad if you're Mallard. But for Gruggy, a little bit of value there. Also, a fun thing to note is Kei's freshly acquired ATG and ukulele. If there's a encrusted key that gets found, Kei is going to be able to very likely maybe double down on one of those, maybe get 2 Polyloop, maybe have 2 Plasma Shrimp. Either way could be really good. Kei on the moon, but who else is on the moon? But Johto. Johto, who also has the Hard Light Afterburner. Only about 40 seconds behind in real time, and some distance, right? So I would say is about a minute and a half behind Kei. But that's no small gap. That's pretty good. That's pretty consistent for someone who's the 22nd seed trying to hold on to the wildcard round in a very, very good spot. At least being able to get 2 points and get second place in this loadout race. As for maybe trying to get in first place, might get some more raw points that way, which is good for the leaderboard if Kei messes up somehow. We could also see... that's about it. I mean, Kei has the ATG. Johto doesn't. And I don't know if I would qualify Hard Light Afterburner as saying that makes up for it. Right? I mean... Kei's got a pretty good build. Pretty solid. Has a watch, has the APR. Johto doesn't have a watch. Johto's only movement speed is a drink and a mocha. Kei has that and a hoof extra. Kei pinged a couple of the items down on the soups to try and show us what's over there. Is helping out the Japanese audience understand some of the items over there. Thank you, Kei. Stream companion thinks you're playing Void Fiend. Yeah, that was the last survivor I was on as, and it doesn't really update if I'm not playing. I actually kind of have to turn that companion off when I'm not playing Risk of Rain, but I guess you can hover over and see some funny things. Gruggy with that one death, scrapping up on stage 4. Trying to play it safe, play it slow, don't blame him. If Gruggy can at least get in 3rd place and beat Mallard, right, has that one death lead. Play it a little bit safe, and suddenly you're looking at 1 point instead of 0, and you get 3rd place. And that could go a long way for trying to get back into that wildcard round, right? You've only got 2 races after this one. You got to use this time now to really make your mark. McKay, I mean, while Johto hasn't even made it up to the Mithrix arena, right? Found something in the way corner. A shipping request form, a soulbound catalyst. Walked all the way over here with just an energy drink and a mocha. For a shipping request form, there was some red thing. I think that was the catalyst. Like up against the wall. And oh. I think Johto has to go all the way up now. It's going to take just so much time. Whatever closeness was there during the competition is now quickly evaporating. Oh, man. Oh, man. Mallard had a +5? Well, Gruggy didn't. Gruggy's only at 1 death still. But yeah, Mallard did have another one, which means, I mean, that's a 10-minute lead against Mallard. A really good position, right? You could do stage 10 in 10 minutes, or stage 5 in 10 minutes. And still be on a good pace, as opposed to Mallard, who still has to do another 40% on the TP. I mean, things are looking a lot more manageable here, but... Sad. I feel like Johto's only chance of winning this loadout is if Kei dies. And if Kei dies 3 times, and Johto gets double bonus points, that's really good, but Kei's still going to get in 2nd place there. Kei's going to need to die like 5 times to the beat for there to be any chance for Johto to finish with double bonus points and have there be a tiebreaker round. And that's also assuming that Mallard and Gruggy play essentially perfect from here on out. Maybe it might have to be like 6 deaths. Kei only has 1 phase left to go here, phase 3. I guess we can count phase 4, but with Ion Surge, it's the freest thing on the planet. Ooh, look at that ice, giving a lot of chances for those probes to just beam down Mithrix. Pretty good value from that. I feel like, though, in the course of time that it took Johto to get Mithrix down that far in health, Kei would have already been at, like, 2/5 to almost halfway done. The damage is just insane on Kei in comparison. Maybe not the most insane. Insane, I would say, is when Mithrix dies in 1 minute, which we have seen many a time here in the hosting league and just in our normal casual runs overall. That Warbanner kind of tricked me almost in thinking that the pizza slice was popping up. Hopefully it didn't jump scare Kei, though. Kei unfazed by it. It's going to be fine. Mithrix is going to hammer, but no death. And... well, it's kind of hard to pull off any sort of phase 4 skip with Artificer if you don't have Fireband. Just maybe try to Shuriken skip, didn't pull it off. Now has to do phase 4. And now has to die like 6 times. Starting now. That's a little bit behind. Need to die. Catch up a little bit. Okay, there's Needle Tick. Uses the Jade Elephant, though. Only takes like 2 damage because Needle Tick, or Mithrix's base health isn't that much. Or base damage isn't that much. Mithrix is slamming. Kei did not do the invincibility glitch. We'll give a tiny bit of a chance for Johto. Johto, who's planting down the Caffeinator up at the top, doesn't have any money for it, though. Mallard is going through the tunnel. It does have the Royal Capacitor. It's the one advantage that Mallard did have alongside Gruggy, but both of them, again, just taking so much time. That is a lot of feathers for Gruggy. And as Gruggy's just trying to safely land, pretty much forget about that. You were now at 6 feathers, which is kind of cool. Maybe might be able to speed up your skip a little bit. I don't know. That's like an Ion Surge just saved. It saved 10 seconds. And there's the Nikahano's opinion. Yeah. And make sure you point that one out. Okay, about to make it onto the ship. Again, still deathless. Still chilling with the deathless setup. And here we go. Gruggy starts the stage 5 TP. Is the last one to start it. It's the last one to be on stage 5. And Kei is going to be able to finish off this fight. We'll see. Maybe Johto might be able to, deny some points. We'll still have 5 minutes after this, or about 4.5, assuming no deaths happen here, to be able to deny some bonus points. But Johto, what used to look like just to be about a minute and a half behind, I mean, it's now a whole 2 phases behind behind Kei. And that's a death. An orb coming from one of those wisps, got cornered, got surrounded, is unable to do anything about it, and is paying the price now. It's not really a matter of denying 1 bonus point, but of 2. And for that to happen, I mean, there's going to have to be a lot here. Right? No ATG, no ukulele. These orbs are really harassing Johto. Mallard, I would say, has a very similar build, if not a better build than Kei, in terms of DPS. Doesn't have the uke, but that's about the only thing missing. Maybe that in the watch. Yeah, but it does have a second APR. Right, so very similar builds, but again, is getting into the fight a little bit later than what Kei had. As Kei finishes off at a 34-56. GG. Well done. Go ahead and get that out of there. The time to double deny. As it stands right now, coin, time to deny double bonus. Or I would say double. It's a 44-56. Well done, Kei. GG, the winner of this race today. Just an absolute performance shown here. Got him to do a triple DNF in the first loadout. And followed that up with another first place finish. But now, I mean, while the double bonus point is probably not going to be denied, as Kei is going to get a perfect 10. I'm pretty sure there's not going to be any DNFs here, if not very few, right? Gruggy's still with the TP. Mallard is finishing off Phase 1 Mithrix. Johto is finishing off Phase 2 Mithrix. I mean, if Johto dies a couple times, it could be pretty bad news. You don't want to die like that. And Johto, who's currently still in the 22nd spot, right, needs to get a win here. Needs to at least maybe get 3rd place here to hold on to that wildcard spot. Cannot die. Right? If you can finish this run and get in 2nd place here, that gives you 2nd place in the whole race as a whole. That's really good. That gives you 3 points on the leaderboard instead of 1 or 2. And oh geez, that was close. Gruggy's off to the moon. Gruggy at 43 minutes, tied up with Johto in terms of deaths. Both just at 1. Mallard's catching up. Definitely has a much better build. We'll have to deal with less pizzas. And oh, Johto, look out. Oh boy. It's looking good for Kei. As Johto's getting really harassed by these enemies and then just... Oh my god, down to double digits in HP. about to die. Oh god, 72 health. You really can't die right now. And that's going to be a death. Unfortunately for Johto, now standing at 2 deaths, takes the 1 death during Phase 2, another one in Phase 3 right before Mithrix was to die. You don't want to die again here. Lost your safer spaces during that rough landing. At 4909, everyone is, I mean, unless Gruggy can find a technique to get onto the ship and fully charge it in 30 seconds, it's not going to happen. That's going to be double bonus points for Kei, and we are looking at completions now. What is the time to even be able to finish a run as Johto takes even yet another death? And there's, okay, Phase 4 is met. If Johto took even another death there, that could open up the door for Mallard, but Mallard is down to 68, 70 health. Right, also not in a good spot. Time for completion, time for Mithrix to be done with Phase 4. Is 74:56. Mallard takes his 4th death, now sitting at 60 minutes and 50 seconds. Looking pretty good here for Gruggy. Right, Gruggy, who has 10 minutes to do this whole Mithrix fight. Gruggy, who has the ATG, has decent movement seed. I see speed. I said movement seed. Has multiple energy drinks. I don't know if that's 2 or 3, but very good amount. It's going to be able to enter the fight and has at least 10 minutes to be able to do it. And oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, Johto, you are in trouble. Down to 73 health. Look out for those probes. Look out for those needles. Oh, jeez. Just get 1 ice. There we go. Whew. Just run away. It's not going to chase anymore. Oh, it's not going to chase. Okay. Don't go near that thing. Don't go near it. Okay, it does go near it. Takes an okay-ish portal. I don't know if the good portals were there or not, but Mallard here now in Phase 3. Mallard 6-7 minutes behind. Has only 12 minutes to finish. Hopefully doesn't take a double death or might end up in a double DNF. Wouldn't want to be in a spot like that. Taking back some items, gets the safer spaces back. And uses the capacitor. Has a shot. Yeah, Gruggy also has capacitor, so if Gruggy does a good fight, when Gruggy already almost done with Phase 1, right? Only has about another 20% of Mithrix's health to go. Look at that health bar just get depleted. Ice execution range is coming up quick. This could be Gruggy's 2nd place. We'll have to see. Johto's gonna finish off at 56 something, maybe 57-ish. Close to 58, actually. Right, that gives Gruggy 10 minutes to do 2 phases. Could easily do it, even with a death, maybe. Definitely not a double death. You don't want to be too aggressive like Gruggy is out here in the open. There's so many chimeras. You do have the probes and the incinerator drone, but you don't want to get caught off guard. The mountain shrine is a good idea. It could have been good if you didn't die, right? If you didn't die, now then you'd be looking at a really good time for 2nd place. I think it wasn't terrible. I think it could have. It definitely did stall out a little bit. You did get lucky on the items with the double shuriken. Right, hindsight's 20/20. If I knew I was getting a 2nd shuriken, maybe I would have done it. Probably would have done it had I known a double Beetle Queen with that. But yeah, Gruggy's going to be done with Phase 2 here. At 57:59, Johto finishes out. Going to look like a 57:40-ish. 57:37. We'll update this. We'll put this above. Time to 2nd. Right, be done and all, is going to be 57:37. Well done. We'll go ahead and throw up the 2 screens here. We got Mallard, we got Gruggy. Here they are. Mallard looking at a 64:31. Is probably going to end up getting in 3rd place. Or maybe even 4th. Does get a completion, though, not a DNF. which is going to be good for Mallard, but again, just took so many deaths during Stage 4. Had an incident on Stage 5. And at 64-18, coming in third place, Gruggy is already done, though, with Phase 3. What a fight. What a quick one. Well done, Gruggy. Wow. Gruggy just has to do Phase 4 here. Could even take a death and be fine. Uses the capacitor, gets back some items. Look out for those empathy cores, though. Gruggy's own core and in Syndrome, getting some good damage in there. Crowbars are back. Let's get this up on the big screen here. Uh-huh. Okay, Mithrix is dead. Time to second. 57-37. Gruggy, not even at 50 minutes yet. We'll be in 2-1. Now at 50 minutes. Not a sub 50, but a really good time here. Finds a good portal. Takes a good portal. Has 6 feathers to work with that, keep in mind. And Gruggy is going to come in second place, assuming no deaths. Wow. Well done, Grug. Overcame all the odds there. Definitely, you know, we saw what Kei did. Kei did an amazing job. 34-56 on that run. Right? With just the few items that he had, he knew he could do the fight, finish the fight. Did it good, did it quick. For what it was, if you ask Kei, Kei would say, oh, I could do that in 28 if I did it again. Bad time. GG, go next. Right? There's always 20/20 hindsight in everything that's done. But that was still a good performance, a good time done by Kei. And something we don't want to ignore as we can go ahead and hand out some points now. Kei guaranteed to get in first place with double bonus points, gets the full-on 10 as the Kei sweep continues here in Week 5 of the Hosting League. Nicely done. Jeez, I mean, Gruggy, someone who again just struggles so much dealing with computer crashing and stuff. I mean, do you really want to consider someone like Gruggy to be a 23rd seed? I would say maybe somewhere more around 17 or 18. Right, so maybe not the largest difference in the world, but it definitely doesn't help when your PC is... Oh god, please don't die from this. Okay, look out. Don't want to grub it. Might be outside the TP bound a little bit. And, okay, there you go. Sleeves. Whew. Gonna be able to finish it off here. It's not quite the Gruggy sweep. We'll call it the Gruggy... I don't know what to call it. But it's still 2 points. That's what I'll call it. 2 points for Gruggy. Coming in second place in that loadout. Well done. Well done also to Johto, coming in third place. Right, Johto trying to fight for those for that wild card position. Might be able to hold on to it. We'll see. But poor Mallard. Mallard, the current 16th seed. We'll see what happens after that. Mallard did get a finish in that, but all those deaths on stage 4 just really brought him back a bit. And allowed for Johto, allowed for Gruggy to just kind of creep up. We'll call it that, the Gruggy creep. As Gruggy slowly ascends out of the bottom of the leaderboard into what I believe is going to be... Oh, let's see. Let me look at that right here. Hold on. Let me just cut off the YouTube here. Thanks for watching. Till next one. GG's.